Hey everyone, welcome to another quick Excel guide for Mac. In this guide, I will show you a really powerful tool, how to essentially look up keywords on a list of data without having to Control F one at a time. You can quickly highlight and identify all the keywords from all the cells that you want in one column, sort them, and then deal with them as you wish. This is really useful when looking through a list that has companies and their related industry or people and their related titles in separate cells. For example, the most classic list of all time, I chose here the S&P 500, and we have the company name, which may or may not tell us anything about what kind of company it is, and then the industry that the company is in. Now this I just downloaded from the internet, but what I can do is, let's say that I'm looking to sell something to health or healthcare and technology companies. So instead of doing Control F one at a time and looking up each company and trying to find it, I can use a keyword and then denote whether or not it's relevant and put that into this column. So I'll show you how to do that. You're going to want to use this formula, and I'll explain why I put in an if error in a minute, but you're going to want to use this formula. It's a combination of using an index, which we have here, matching a certain term, and then what we want it to spit out if it doesn't match. I'm not going to explain this because it's complex, but honestly, you can just copy paste it. I'll put it into the video description below this video, and you can copy paste it and go ahead and use it. But I'll actually explain to you how to set this up first. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is set up this little table. This is going to determine the keywords that you're looking for. In this case, we're looking for keywords in column C in the industry column. So I'm going to look up things like health, care, healthcare, pharma, tech, technology, and then of course I want to know if they're relevant or not. These don't all have to say relevant, they can say whatever you want, but I like them to say relevant. And then let's say also specifically you're not interested in consumer goods. So some of these others like utilities or finance, maybe in the future they'll be relevant, but consumer is just totally not relevant. You can list those as well, and that will help you easily eliminate those at the end. So now how do you actually use this? Well, you'll copy paste that formula that I provided to you. And essentially the index is actually going to be the second column here, the relevance. So you're going to highlight all of it. I'll do that real quick to show you. You're going to highlight all of it, and then on Mac do Command T to lock in. That way when you drag down these cells, this stays locked in. And then for the match, same thing here. For the search, we're going to highlight the keywords, right? Because we're searching these keywords. Command T to lock in. And then lastly, what are we comparing these keywords against? We're comparing them against each of the industry cells. So you're just going to click that without locking in because you want that to correspond to each one as you go down. And then press enter. Okay, so now you can see this isn't spitting anything out, it's just blank, right? And the reason that that's happening, even though industrials doesn't match any of my keywords, is because I put in this if error. If I didn't have the if error, I would get an error, right? Because industrials is not in my list of keywords. So when I put in the if error, I click between the equals and the open parentheses, and I have another video on how to do if errors with VLOOKUPs. That is a better explanation of how the if error works. This I'm just kind of glossing over. We'll put in the if error function. We'll tell it value if error, we want nothing. Value if error goes, put a comma. Value if error, we want absolutely nothing to show up, and we'll get nothing. So now we can just ignore the blank cells. They're relevant to us. We can double click this down. We can see if one of these companies is a healthcare company or maybe a pharmaceutical company or whatever, it's relevant. And if not, consumer, let's say, not relevant. The last thing we can do is sort these. And then we can see all of our relevant companies right here. You can scroll down, quite a few not relevant companies as well. We can just delete those or whatever we want from our list, hide these cells. And then the rest, maybe we're saving them for later or something like that. And the beauty of this is you can change these keywords to be whatever you want, depending on what you're looking for in your data. I've used this to help me identify HR benefits managers, chief, like C-suite executives. And of course, you don't have to write relevant. You can write good contact, bad contact, whatever. You can really customize this. It's a really powerful tool and very simple. So I highly recommend if you have a big list and you're trying to identify certain types, or certain classes of data within that list, to use this, especially on Mac because we don't have access to Power BI or Power Lookup, any of the database tools that you have on a PC with Excel. This is a really powerful tool that you can use. So I hope that you find this useful, and please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below or if there's any other cool tricks or tips you'd like to see on Excel for Mac.